Okay. My name is Ron Tysus. I'm a division chief fire marshal with the High Ridge Fire Protection District in High Ridge, Missouri. So technology, big help as far as uh, being able to not only conduct inspections or pre-planning in a timely manner, but it's also a better way, an easier way to obtain your data when you go back to look at when we look at our community risk reduction within our jurisdictions. It's nice to be able to just run a report on a certain time period that you want to look at, and you can pull all that in. So there was technology was definitely the way to go. Old methods of using paper and pen to do the checklist is no longer any good. So we kind of knew what we wanted to do as far as so we needed to collect data, and by collecting data meaning we knew we had to go out and we had to get our inspections completed, things of that nature. And with our organization, we only had a small amount of individuals that can assist with that. Engine companies try to, but they're busy enough that they don't really can't go out and conduct a lot of inspections, nor can they get out and doing much of the pre-planning. So for us, it made sense to have our inspections or fire prevention bureau have those individuals, which is only 3 to 4 individuals, by mind you, to have those individuals going out and pre-planning our buildings and conducting inspections at the same time. So when we were looking at software to use, there's numerous types of softwares out there that just do inspections only, or there's numerous ones that do pre-planning only, and some of it's good stuff. I'm not going to knock anything, but we were looking at we wanted something that it made sense for us to go out and have that inspector or have that person go out and conduct the inspection, and at the same time be able to pre-plan the building. And when we get it done, or have to make any changes to it, that it was immediately available to our engine companies. Because what we found in the past, prior to using a specific type of software, we found in the past that we were having to use 5 different applications, because whether you're using a Toughbook or using an iOS device, to use those to collect your data and do those things, we found that we were using 5 different applications to do this, to construct one pre-plan and then do an inspection. So when we were doing that, what we learned was we go out and do a couple buildings in one day, and then we get back to the office and we're spending several hours in the office compiling all that data together and forming it into some type of format, and then having to put it out to some type of shareable network that our engine companies would have access to. And what we did learn in the process of that as well is our engine companies would turn around and run they'd run a commercial building alarm or something like that, and we know dang good and well, wow, we just took that information in last week, but it wasn't available to them. Or maybe there was a new hazardous, hazmat type of situation they need to know about a commercial structure, or something else changed, or maybe just emergency contacts changed. So we needed to find something that we could use that would allow us to not only conduct the inspection, but conduct the pre-plan at the same time. And then once we started getting that put together, we knew we would have some type of software that would be able to update our trucks as soon as the guys did it in the field. So impacts, let's look at that. So again, like I said, there's numerous types of different applications and different softwares that you can utilize for things, but there's not too many that are able to do, like I said, combination of that inspection and pre-planning at the same time. And so when we were able to do that, the first thing we were able to, and mind you, the current stuff that we're using now, we haven't even been using it a full year yet. I think June or July would be when we come into a full year of utilizing it. And to kind of put it in perspective a little bit, we are currently, I just checked this yesterday, as a matter of fact, we're currently at 900 and something, 903 structures that have been buildings that have been created and that are now available to our engine companies. Now that's 903 that are done, that was done with basically two people for the most part. Technically there's four of us, but the rest of us don't know ours out there, but I got two individuals. So two people conducting inspections, and mind you, that's re-inspections and everything else as well. So they go out and inspect the building and they find some problems or some hazards there or something, and they work with that building owner to resolve that. So that's not just them doing the initial inspection, that's a re-inspection. So in less than a year, we've created 903 buildings. So when we look at the impacts, we've had nothing but positive impacts. And I say that because I've been able to cut down man hours and the personnel. Before, I would have to send each engine company out in different still alarm areas, is what we call them, or still alarm areas, or their precinct, if you will, that they cover. And they would have to go out and do things. And then we weren't getting consistency either, because we have, we got 30 different guys, 30 different people and different things. Each one does them different. So we were getting different inspections. We were getting different pre-plan notes. And, we wanted something more uniform. So by kind of limiting it to who we had to do those and conduct those. So they were able to go out, get them completed. And when I say completed, meaning there's a full pre-plan. We have a floor sketch of the building. We have, the any what we call tier 2 reports or hazardous material reporting that may be for specific occupancy. All that information is in that pre-plan. And, oh, by the way, we inspected it, and they can look at that as well if they need to. And now when we go back there, even the next year, or in some cases where we may have to go back a little more frequently, maybe management changes, or maybe our contact information changes. Those guys make that change there in that software, and it's immediately changed and updated for our entire staff. So as far as impacts we've had, again, it's been positive. We've had it's cut back on man hours, and we've gotten, like I said, 903 of these structures done in less than a year. And it just we would not even be at half of that if we were doing it the old way. And it's because we were having to do so many different things. So it's definitely helped on man hours. It's helped on getting the data out there to the trucks immediately. That's the key. It does no good for a couple inspectors or a couple other guys just to have, I got all this information on this particular structure, but then when the truck company needs it, they don't have it. That's kind of silly. So, I think I just taught a class just recently to multiple jurisdictions on documentation on fire investigation. And one of the things that I've observed, and I've talked to a few other agencies in a couple other states as well, and one of the main things that I've observed when it comes to fire service is the operations side of a department or district and the prevention side do not communicate most of the time with each other. And it's not on purpose. It's not a way that like, hey, I don't like you type of thing, or anything. But operations is focusing on operations, and prevention is focusing on prevention. What a lot of organizations fail to realize is that we're all working towards the same goals, right? And I think they get that in a sense. They're not dumb to the fact, but the problem is when they don't communicate, there's a lot of benefits that can come from utilizing software to achieve the same goals. And I know a couple agencies that utilize like the same software, let's say, and some of them in different states within the United States. And they have what I find interesting is like, yeah, well, their operations side. Well, what does your operations side use for pre-planning? Oh, we use this software here. It's like, well, did you know that had an inspections module as well, that you can do that? And so while your guys on the prevention side are doing that, you can be updating pre-planning? No, I had no idea. And they're using two different softwares. And in the long run, too, budget-wise, they're spending more money, whereas, hey, combine those two things and do that. So I think if agencies are looking at doing anything, you can save, again, time, man hours, money, and getting that data to the people that need it immediately. That's the key. And so using a good software or using something that can do those things is you just start doing it and it makes sense. It's like, why wouldn't I do this all along? And so, it's and your engine companies appreciate it. I mean, I don't know how many times our staff will go out and they'll be like, hey man, we went out and, we were able to access this or find this, or, we had all the information we needed, at the push of a button, tap of the screen, and it populates for us. So I think the biggest thing, again, departments need to think about is communicate, get both those sides communicating, look how you can help each other when it comes to that. If I got to do inspections and I got to keep inspections data, makes sense to do that with something that does pre-planning from the operations side at the same time. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest things I see that happen with most jurisdictions. And it's kind of silly, but once they start realizing, like say there's one neighboring us, they use the same software for pre-planning. The inspections bureau didn't communicate with the operations side. And next thing I know, they're using a different, I'm like, do you realize that this has that capability? Nope. I'm like, you should look into that because, it works a lot better together. So. No, and I can say that very confidently. And one, looking back at how we were doing it previously, and trying to go back to an old way of doing things, I'd probably pull what hair I have left out of my head, because it would just, I wouldn't feel like we were making any progress, and you guys felt like you're spinning your wheels. It took so long to complete one project or complete one pre-plan or complete one inspection that the process was so long that by the time it was done, you may have had management changes or something or whatever, your contacts and things. And so that was a little challenging, you know what I mean? So no, there's no way we'd go back to doing it the old way. It would have to be this way and I don't even know, it would have to stay this way. That's bottom line. So currently, I think as far as future goes, we've got goals set. We got to have some type of goal in order to know if you're making any progress, right? And we're exceeding that. Again, when we originally set our goals were, okay, we want to meet, X. We want to have X amount of structures pre-planned. We want to have X amount of structures inspected, and we're right on track to meet 100% of our structures within our district this year. That'd be the first time ever that's been done. I know people look at things when, again, we're talking about community risk reduction, or we talk about for those departments or agencies that follow ISO and their how they award their point systems. They want to make sure that we're looking at 100% of your commercial structures within your building or within your jurisdiction, and that's including your re-inspections. That's pretty difficult to do for most places, especially if you got a lot of places. But we are literally on track to do that for the first time ever. And and not only has it been good for us, but now that we've been able to have more frequency with that, and more frequency with the business owners and things of that nature. And mind you, we do residential reoccupancies and stuff as well. So but this allowed us to get in there, get things done, and formulating those relationships with the business owners and things. And now it's kind of gotten more of a second nature thing with them, because we were able to accelerate how quickly we were able to get in there and get that data to the truck companies. And then again, utilizing our own risk reduction teams, going back and analyzing that data, having true, okay, what are our biggest problems, So I think goal setting, as far as we're meeting that and exceeding what we originally set for us. Maybe we set the bar too low. I don't know, but no, we're definitely meeting those goals and exceeding. I think setting forth new goals. Some of the things we want to do is, just not just looking at pre-planning and everything else, but for our risk reduction with our risk reduction teams is being able to look at that data, breaking it down and prioritizing it is like, well, where are our biggest hazards? Where are our biggest violations occurring? and prioritizing those and going back and figuring out, okay, how do we educate those demographics as far as that goes. So, but that's available to us now, as it wasn't so much. You could run some reports before, but it wasn't as together as it would have been, I guess. But so I think that's our goals moving forward. I really, like I said, it's been a good thing for us. We've exceeded what we thought we would do. We're on pace to keep moving forward, and I can't say enough about how well it is. Not to mention some of the sharing. I didn't bring out some of that. Talking about some of the things that we can do sharing wise. Some people think of that as this software allows us not only to share with mutual aid companies or engine companies that neighbor us that come in automatic, or what we call automatic aid. It also allows us to share with other agencies. And I say other agencies, not just fire districts or fire departments. We've been working with our sheriff's office, our local law enforcement, municipal law enforcement agencies. We do what they like active shooter training, things like that with them. We've even gotten so much communication and training with them now that if their guys run on a barricaded subject or something like that might be in one of these times, maybe they have, there's a couple other instances that'd be out there, but that watch commander for that law enforcement agency, they need a floor plan of that building. And we can very simply, okay, what command officers do you want to have that? And we can share that data with them by just texting it to them from our cell phones, even from our cell phones, not just from, and then it goes straight to their cell phone or their computer. We can email it to them. We can send it to multiple different guys. So their command officers are able to utilize that. It's gotten to the point now where their watch commanders go, hey, not that we are in a high crime area, but their command officers are call and be like, hey, can we get such and such, pre-plan that you have? And we can share it to them that quickly. Large incidents where we have multiple section chiefs that might be looking at different areas of the building because it's so large, it's such a large fire or something, or we're able to share that data with them guys as well. So it's definitely it helps in so many different ways. Manpower, sharing data, and utilizing it. So I think over the next 3 years, we just plan to keep analyzing it and look and seeing what we need to do and improve on. So.